Huel howitzer, and this is Southern California gold. We begin Phase 2 of this Roger venture at Gateway Classic Cars in O'Fallon, Illinois. Gateway is yet another entity not asked to pay for their appearance in this production, which is no way to get rich making video. We are here in search of one of the nicest 1970 Cougars we've seen in a very long time. Over the years, Roger has had some interesting car quests resulting in some now rare finds. Ironically, Roger's first car quest was 40 years ago this month with the purchase of this 1971 Cougar built just 4 months after the one Roger recently found by simply typing the search term 1970 Cougar for sale. Because of this internet find, Roger has decided that we are going to check out this 1970 Cougar XR7 convertible at Gateway Classic Cars in the St. Louis suburb of O'Fallon, Illinois. Lots of cars to see here, and all of them look like show winners at just about any car show you can name. And here it is. Look at that. Look at that. Never had this happen before, but this car actually looks better in person than it did in the photos. As you might have guessed, 1970 Cougar convertibles are rare to begin with, and only 76 Cougars from 1970 were made with this paint and trim code. This happens to be the only 1970 Cougar convertible Roger has ever seen, with the plushest of the plush XR7 interior. After looking at a lot of 1970 Cougars over the years, Roger noticed the absence of wrinkles in the usual spots. Heck, finding no wrinkles anywhere confirms suspicions that the car received a new factory-correct upholstery kit that was identical to the original interior, installed April 22nd, 1970 at the Dearborn, Michigan plant. While NPD supplied this upholstery, other great Cougar suppliers also helped Roger with hard-to-find things like this door handle, electronics for the power windows, and Ken's Cougars worked wonders for Roger's 1971 door panels and seat upholstery. Now it's time for an expert car inspection. The top 2 inspectors, in alphabetical order, are Mr. G. Brown, College Automotive Department Chair and Service Manual Writer for some of the most familiar vehicles on the road. Then there's the motorman, Leon Kaplan, of car-oriented radio and TV fame. They will begin their inspection of this vehicle in your dreams, because we have Roger instead. We can only hope Roger is guided by the spirit of his late Uncle Harry, a longtime engine designer at Ford with spiritual fingerprints all over this car. Since the initial inspection falls to Roger, one of the first reassuring dealership practices we noticed here is the freedom for Roger and our cameraman to take a close look over and under anything we want to look at. Looking under the hood, Roger checks for leaks. Then he checks the fluid levels and fluid conditions. A burning smell in the fluids would have sparked a conversation about major components that will have to be replaced. The first thing after finishing the engine inspection is that Roger looks down the side of the car in order to see if we can find any ripples. Ripples can be a sign of accident damage that can result in costly repair problems down the road. Then Roger auditioned the metal. If it started sounding like plastic instead of metal, that could be a sign of too much body filler, frequently known as Bondo. Ideally, Roger would have thought to bring a magnet, because a magnet wouldn't stick to any overly thick Bondo under the paint. Forgetting to bring a magnet is what can happen when Roger inspects a car. The other thing Roger's on the lookout for is the cosmetic condition of the car. Since the most expensive part of any car is the interior, this is where the cosmetic inspection starts. When things on a classic car are damaged, dented, or missing, the meter starts running really fast. In other words, it is most often cheaper to buy a car that looks this nice already than it is to make one like this into one like that. Another reassuring practice of Gateway was their willingness to take us for a test ride. A test ride, like a test drive, enables basic due diligence. A few examples of what a test drive can accomplish is you can avoid a costly transmission rebuild by feeling how smooth or how rough the transmission shifts. Also, you can listen for groans in places like the steering system and rear end. You can try out the heater to make sure that you don't have a big repair bill for replacing the heater core. Failure of the radio, windows, or just about any other system you can think of can be a sign of expensive repair bills to come. Gateway also took us out on a second test ride to do the hands-free test. This is where you take your hands off the wheel to see if the car veers in any direction. Veering, aka pulling, could be a sign of an underinflated tire, or veering could be a sign of frame damage from an accident. Not only can this be expensive to fix, it may not be restorable to pre-accident condition. This can cause problems of alignment difficulty and excessive tire wear you just can't get fixed.
The worst it's going to be is probably around.
After discovering some leaks and other problems, Roger called Dean at Iconic Automotive in Garden Grove, California. Over the years, Team Iconic seems to have fixed just about everything. Roger also called his brother-in-law Mr. G. Brown. A consensus of what to do was reached and the purchase agreement was signed for this fine 1970 Cougar XR7 convertible. On delivery day, we are seeing the final inches and seconds of the car's 4-day and nearly 2,000-mile journey from Illinois to California. The car was carefully shipped to California via ASAP Transport Solutions. As a courtesy to the driver, Roger arranged for delivery at the nearby industrial park that is friendly to big rig trucks. The unloading process could have kept us entertained all day long.
Yes.
This is plastic. Everybody see the customer, hey, bring this car. I don't need it, it's a Ferrari. I said, no, this is different customer, you know.
Oh, you mean the people that have those said, oh, give me that?
Yeah. He said, hey, Ferrari, I don't need it. Bring this car. This is where? I'm saying, hey, I'm different to the customer, you know.
Oh, I love it.
Everybody see, oh, what the hell is this, you know. The color is here, the very perfect color. It's a radio, so everything is original, see? So you don't know how many this is cases, you see?
Yeah, eight track. When was the last time you saw an 8-track?
Now it's time for Roger to drive the car for his first time. Destination? The insurance office and the mechanic. But his first stop gives his wife and Freddie's emotional support blonde their first look at the car. What's that? Oh, the arch! Who can go to St. Louis and not see the arch? Yeah, we don't have an answer for that either. We'll take a look at the arch on the next edition of Southern California Gold.